I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell politicians to give up the rooms. Tell silent voters to stand up to the booth.
God, it's me. Can you hear my plea? Feeling like I'm lost in this world, can't you see? Demons creeping in, trying to take control of me. But I'm just trying to find the light, trying to break free. I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. But why you keep forgetting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feeling like I'm on a leash. Can't find no peace, find no peace. Living in hell, can't you hear my plea? I'm suffocating, can't you see? Why you let these false prophets roam free? While the well-run suffer, can't you see? I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Why you keep targeting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feel like I'm on a leash, can't find no peace.
Hardest battles, strongest soldiers, greatest burden, broadest shoulders, pushing up just like these boulders. This conflict like it's water, so this mercy, take my chalice, seeking grace through all this malice. All of these salty motherfuckers could give up.
Politics and sinners, they all the same.
Got me stuck in this endless game. But I won't give up,
won't play the role.
Gotta do what's best
for my soul.
I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell these politicians to give up the room. Tell silent voters to stand up to the booth. Living wild but truthfully free. God keep on watching over me. Take my
Good morning, 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 good morning. This morning I'm going to be talking about bodies, badges, and broken promises. But before we get into all that, I got some independent music. And here you go with Lloyd Banks, Ghostface Killer, and you got the name of it, Endangered Innocence.
Sometimes I laugh and cry when thinking about my days as a kid. Highlights was watching TV shows and music played in the crib. It shook my mind up, more than Soul Train. We did the lineup, used to look forward to game from my cousin when I could find him. Grew up in my grandma's house, was the kind with the open door. Birthdays had to appreciate, still hoping for more. Cortez, Nikes and Adidas, Reeboks. I love my sneakers, butter bombers with the collar furred up. Watch how I freak this, gotta make it out the bottom. Cause shit, with all these speeches, got me questioning if change is gon' come. Could it even reach us? Hold up, shout out my teachers that actually taught me something. All the influential artists that had my Walkman bumping. Nigga, the Havoc and Prodigy CD changed my life. Frank White and Escobar, they made me nice. That Snoop Doggy style was worth the price. Now I feel like I gotta study shit. I'm a beginning night. I wouldn't change shit. Everything we went through made me who I am now. One and the same kid. Every day's a struggle while the bullshit pals. I got to make it. People depending on me, gotta make them more proud. Put me in any ghetto, I blend in with the crowd. Money's calling my name right now.
Yo, younger days, gun clicking, burning rulers and staircases, bloody robberies with the beer faces, Carnation milk over cornflakes, mama struggling, plastic bowls, homie ate on a hard plate, wore down mattresses, film on good times. I was younger than Penny when I thought of these hoodlums. We was hyper thugs swatting, smashing no lightning bugs. Most left the concrete green, we never seen they blood, nah. Chip on my shoulder, I could use a hug. My PCP days, all I seen was blood. Staten Island novels, shootouts, my rivals. Avenged my man's death, murdered in red wallows. Damn, my Rubik's Cube got stuck, never cracked the code. At the age of 25, unmasked they go. Big bangles, braces, 4 fingers ferocious. Chain so heavy it caused osteosis.
I wouldn't change shit. Everything we went through made me who I am now. One and the same kid. Every day's a struggle while the bullshit pals. I got to make it. People depending on me, gotta make them more proud. Put me in any ghetto, I blend in with the crowd. Money's calling my name right now. Yo, 1 in a million get to make it out and still get shot. Trying to keep it real and come back, show some love to the block. I got my first sniff of some weed up out my mom's purse, use it. They tapping tables in the lunchroom, wrote my first verse to it. Became a man the perfect summer day, right there around the way. To say that I was nervous would be an understatement. I pray don't leave me hanging as quarters went by. My voice is changing, walk around it with my chest out now. Temperatures raising, took a swig of grandpa bottle cause he filled it with gin. I got some new outfits for school, I'm about to kill him again. My pop was fucking up, no telling where the crook might been. Got my ass whooped couple times just cause I look like him. Next time I would see his face was on the visiting floor. Correctional facilities here and there. I'm back and forth in our pursuit to happiness. We end up around DC. I'm just happy to be there with him. Hard times ain't shit to me. I wouldn't change shit. Everything we went through made me who I am now. One and the same kid. Every day's a struggle while the bullshit pals. I got to make it. People depending on me, gotta make them all proud. Put me in any ghetto, I blend in with the crowd. Money's calling my name right now.
That was Lloyd Banks, Ghostface Killer, Endangered Innocence. So before we get into really basically the meat and potatoes of this show, and I know people are watching and different things like that, but I want to stick to why I do this. And that's to educate so we can liberate. I want to get into Mossad agent grooming assets in Minnesota County. County administrator says quiet part out loud. So you're going to hear TC, who has a podcast in a network, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. And I want people to please pay attention because there is some things that are said in this and that we shouldn't allow. So, well, that being said, here is the video.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. This is Minnesota Black Robe Regiment Media, MBRR Media. I am TC, the host, the founder, and show producer. Well, I'm actually not the show producer. I have several show producers, and that is IMF from Subscribestar, the Angry Vet from YouTube, and then my Anonymous. And I'm looking for show producers over on Rumble as well for content. So, thanks for tuning in and paying attention to me. If you haven't yet, make sure that you are liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and considering picking up a level of support through channel memberships, whatever platform you might be watching on. Some of you are familiar with Pam from the Justice for Pam video series that I have been working on, and we're still working on that, by the way. And Pam and I are in pretty much daily contact as we continue to work through her story and work through what she's got going on. And so today, and as I record this, this is May 1st of 2025, Pam sends me a link to Wabasha County Board meeting because she wanted me to pay attention to something very particular that was going on. And so I did what I always do when Pam sends me something. I listen because Pam's got a pretty decent ear for, at least asking questions. And so when I was listening, for the part she wanted me to listen to, something else caught my attention with the county board members as they're going through and kind of giving their updates and their, I don't know how to describe it. Here's what I've accomplished this last month or this last couple of weeks. And I was caught off guard. So we're going to play that part for you. We're going to let you listen to that. And then I'm going to come back and comment. And I want you to understand how vitally important it is for everybody to understand what you just heard.
Hear about that, April, later this summer. I also attended with Sean AMC hosted training titled Negotiation for County Leaders. We did that Wednesday and Thursday of this week. And it was tailored to improve one's ability to engage in difficult conversations, build support and trust amongst those sitting around the table. And then another part was how to formulate and present yes offers. The AMC is going to be sending out the presentation, so I'll have Michael forward that all to you if you're interested in reviewing it. The instructor was really great. It was very interactive. We did a lot of role playing, so that was fun. And that's all I had.
Was it well attended by other county commissioners?
It was, there was like it was limited. I think there was 24 of us. There was a limited number of people that could attend, so.
If in the future you guys want to attend, I know I sent it out kind of last minute to some of you guys, but in the future if you want to attend, it's really well put on. So about 4 years ago they had the same one, and they actually brought in the head of Mossad from Israel's intelligence agency who did the training for the negotiation. Super informative. It's a little expensive, no doubt, but it's well worth it. It's a great training.
So, to make you aware, the AMC that they're referring to is the Association of Minnesota Counties. So it's a voluntary organization that each county in the state of Minnesota has an option to pay dues to be part of. According to them, they cover 86 counties or something like that. Whatever the county count in Minnesota is, doesn't really matter at this point. And so the Association of Minnesota Counties puts on trainings for different levels of county members, county staff. In this particular case, you have a board member who paid an exorbitant amount of money out of the pockets of the wage slave tax cattle of Wabasha County to go and take part in how to become a better negotiator with your staff. In other words, contract times and yada, yada, yada. Now, that aside, what you ended up hearing there is a direct reference to the Association of Minnesota Counties bringing in what the person speaking said was the head of Mossad. If you're not familiar with Mossad, it is the intelligence agency for geopolitical Zionist Israel. They brought in the head of the geopolitical Zionist Israel several years back to train county commissioners on how to better negotiate with their staff. Now, you might think, well, what's the big deal? Folks, a foreign intel agency director, an asset, is being paid an exorbitant amount of money by the taxpayers of multiple counties, but in particular, Wabasha County residents. Your wage slave tax cattle dollars are being confiscated from you through the threat of force and violence to then turn around and be used to pay a Mossad agent, to pay an agent of a foreign nation's intel agency to teach them how to negotiate with their own people. Folks, that is asinine. That the United States government is allowing assets from a foreign intelligence agency to come into the United States, into the state of Minnesota, and train public servants at the cost. We're going to find out the cost, I believe. I think we're going to have to go ahead and ask how much that was. He put it out there. I believe that was their county director. He put it out there that it's quite exorbitant, that it's quite expensive. A Mossad agent, the director of Mossad, that's how he described it, is being paid a large sum of money to train American elected servants, basically how to browbeat, more effectively communicate in negotiations with the people that work for them. He's being allowed to operate. Folks, if that doesn't outrage you, if you're not outraged by the fact that intel assets from foreign countries are coming into the United States and training elected servants on how to negotiate, you are part of the problem. You are absolutely foundationally, fundamentally part of the problem in this country. I don't care if you bow down and lick the boots of geopolitical Zionist Israel. I don't care how much of a Zionist you might be. There's no way that an Israeli asset should be operating in such a way inside of the United States, training elected public servants or appointed public servants. Imagine the doors that this opens for Mossad now to have connections to county level individuals, to turn them into assets. Folks, if you don't understand this, if you don't get what the hell that this means, if you don't get the implications of this, this is contacts with foreign intel agencies and assets developing assets in your counties in Minnesota. Now imagine multiplying this across the spectrum of the entire United States. How many other times has this happened in other states, for other counties, other municipalities? And you can try and spin this however you want. You can put whatever spin that you want to put on it and say, well, it's just for teaching them to be better negotiators when communication is vitally important. No, we can do that without the help of Mossad. We can do that without the help of a foreign entity's intelligence agency developing assets of American elected servants at the cost of the wage slave tax cattle. Why on earth is this allowed to take place in the United States if it's not for the fact that our entire governing bodies, from the federal state to the state to the county state to the municipal state to whatever, are all bought and paid for by geopolitical Zionist Israel, and then we are now in turn watching wage slave taxpayer dollars go then and pay those assets to indoctrinate, inculcate, and propagandize the very people who should be working for us and turning them into assets. I don't care what anybody says. This is an attempt to turn people into assets, to turn them into geopolitical Zionist assets. Call it an overreaction if you want, but there's no cause for any Mossad agent to be working in conjunction with elected servants at any level in the United States. At any level, let alone in a tiny little out-of-the-way county like Wabasha County in the state of Minnesota. And you know for a fact, if this is happening with Wabasha County commissioners, you know it's happening with law enforcement agencies across the state of Minnesota. You know that it's happening in other states all the way across the United States. It's bad enough that they have so much influence at the congressional level in the United States, at the Senate level in the United States, at the executive level in the United States. We know that the Trump administration is bought and paid for by geopolitical Zionist Israel. We know that AIPAC owns 99.9% of Congress, the House and the Senate. We know that they own lobbyists. We know that AIPAC owns Donald Trump. We know that AIPAC owned Biden and others. Now we're finding out that Mossad is developing assets in places like Wabasha County. And you can say, well, that's not what they said. No, I don't care what they said.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's what they're doing. Mossad is targeting and developing assets all over the United States. And Wabasha County just bore that out. If this doesn't piss you off, you are part of the problem. You are betraying your republic.
Right.
Violating your oath. Wabasha County, you have a lot of explaining to do, and I think the people of Wabasha County have a right to know how much money you spent to pay a foreign intel agency asset to indoctrinate and inculcate your people and turn them into assets. Wow. I was absolutely floored. So floored that I stopped my planned time today for my lunch break, where I normally write. I had to do this and get this out ASAP. So, we're going to play this for you one more time, and then we're going to end this.
If in the future you guys want to attend, I know I sent it out kind of last minute to some of you guys, but in the future if you want to attend, it's really well put on. So about 4 years ago, they had this same one, and they actually brought in the head of Mossad from Israel's intelligence agency who did the training for negotiation. Super informative. It's a little expensive, no doubt, but it's well worth it. It's a great training. And they actually brought in the head of Mossad from Israel's intelligence agency who did the training.
Wow, that's wild. And then people wonder why we have the fraud and the waste and the corruption that we do in Minnesota. You know, they want to say that it's right, I am too. You know, and I met TC in a whole nother part of my life, and he was a jailer, you know, and I was an inmate. But beautiful relationship that we have now. I will do a lot for TC. You know, we met. I just have learned so much, and this is one dude that I will always have his back because I know that he has mine. And it's just even with the next story that I'm about to get into in Rochester. I want people. I spent a lot of time on the phone about this yesterday, and some other things about Rochester. You know what I want to say though is that if that wasn't a Black American, this the thing of it is, right? And I've said this over and over and over and over before, is that if that boy would have been a Black American boy, we wouldn't be seeing the things that we're seeing right now. Because I'm gonna get into it because you're seeing a side of this story that the media isn't telling you, right? They don't want to get into this part of the story. So they only took this little, there's a clip, right? And I get it. It's a white woman and you see a autistic Black kid. So of course you're going to see people getting in an uproar. So with that being said, here is the video.
It was a shocking scene at Soldiers Field as a viral video of a woman hurling racial insults has led to public outcry and responses from community leaders. ABC 6 reporter Chandler Jackson has been talking with local leaders about this incident, and he joins us now live from Rochester. Chandler, what has been the response from the community?
Yeah, Axel, the response has been about what you would expect. A lot of public outcry and outrage at this incident. It happened here at the Roy Sutherland playground of Soldiers Field Park. A woman allegedly berating a young Black child after she claims he stole something from her son. An otherwise uneventful evening took a turn for families at this Rochester playground. A video capturing the incident, sparking a firestorm online of community backlash. Some in the community shocked by the events.
So I moved 5-6 years ago. I think I just passed my citizenship. So I travel quite a bit in United States, and for my opinion, Rochester is the most safe place that I experienced.
Others less so.
But it does kind of fit the national meta-narrative, you know, of just hostility and concern, and certainly makes me a little bit more cautious, you know, when I go out.
A view shared by Gabriel Green.
And there's the reason individuals are so emboldened to speak like this, even when they know they're being filmed, even when they know we live in an age of social media and things could spread like wildfire.
Green was one of several BIPOC community members who took part in conversations around this time last year when a similar incident occurred involving a pedestrian bridge near Century High. Green says both incidents are a part of a deeper conversation than just who can say what.
You're going to have those that's going to say, hey, she have a right to say what she want to say, and they're absolutely correct. But I go even further and say, what type of city do we want to have? What type of city and what type of place do we want to call Rochester, Minnesota?
And for both, the solution is the same.
We got to love each other right where we are and love past this. We got to love past our hurt, love past our pain. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be hurt, but we have to love past all of that.
I reached out to the Rochester Police Department as well to see if they were investigating any further into the situation. They said, quote, "We are aware of the video that was posted on social media and have received multiple calls related to it. RPD is gathering information and actively looking into the matter." Live in Rochester.
So we all know what that means. They want to do damage control. But there's so much more to this story. There's so much more. That's what I want people to realize, is that this is way bigger than just two people. This is even just Rochester, Minnesota. So this is another whole side of it, right? Rochester Playground racist incident exposes dark past of cameraman linked to rape charges. They were digging on this man. And that's the whole crazy thing, right? Is that a viral video from Rochester, Minnesota has ignited a nationwide debate after it captured a white woman calling a black autistic child a racial slur. During a confrontation at a public playground, the short clip posted on TikTok, since deleted and later shared widely on Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube, shows the woman angrily accusing the 5-year-old child of stealing her own child's belongings before using the N-word. The incident has since led to widespread backlash, a launch of controversial crowdfunding campaign, and scrutiny of the man who filmed and posted the footage. So that is the video. We've all seen it. I don't want to keep on playing the N-word. But the 48-second video begins with the woman yelling at a child off camera. She accuses the boy, identified by witnesses as a 5-year-old black autistic child, of taking items that belong to her child. During the confrontation, the woman uses the racial slur directly toward the child. "Say it again," the man filming responds, pursuing the woman as she attempts to walk away while holding an infant. She does not appear apologetic or remorseful during the exchange. The video quickly went viral after being shared on Reddit's public freakout subreddit, where it received over 5,000 upvotes before moderators locked the post due to doxing attempts and concerns over brigading. The moderators later issued a public statement acknowledging the rise in white supremacist activity on the platform and warning against amplifying crowdfunding efforts that appear to be tied to racist or extremist communities. The woman in the video has since been identified online, though her full identity has not been confirmed by mainstream outlets. Despite widespread commendation of her actions, a crowdfunding campaign in her name hosted on platforms like GoFundMe and GiveSendGo have raised over I'll be honest, it's almost at $300,000. This was probably written way earlier, but it's now at, and I'm going to show you guys, but it's at over $300,000. Her little crowdfunding campaign now, from individuals claiming to support free speech, though others are more explicit in their endorsement of the woman's actions and language. Because it does, and I'm going to show y'all, it does get really out of hand. So the man that was filming and who posted it, people have dug into his background. And I'll tell you, people are internet detectives when it comes to this shit, right? So here is a quick update. he was able to confirm the identity, linked his TikTok account to his legal name via MC and DOT. It is the same man arrested here. So it came out that it was Muhammad Hussein Omar, and I think the guy's name was Shamarki Omar, who was filming. And now it's been that he was charged with sexually abusing. And yes, the charges have been dropped. I will say that the charges were dropped, right? They were definitely dropped for the best interest of justice. But we see how Rochester, Minnesota does, right? Because I will tell you, yes, it was wrong for Shiloh to use that word. But are we going to sit here and act like that was okay? Because I will tell you like this, if that would have been, let's say, me, who is a registered sex offender who has been to prison and has done his time, but a man who was going through his court cases and just basically kind of screwed the system over, it's okay because it came down to politically. And that's the same thing. And it's crazy because all of this has really just turned into something that it really shouldn't be, because I'm going to show y'all something that's crazy as hell. Y'all going to be like, wait, what? Yeah. So, she put it up to $1 million. That's crazy. Wow. They put it up to $1 million. Right there, $1 million. It's already raised $274,000. And it's still going. This is what I'm saying. Of like, people can, I'm not saying that the words that she used were okay, because they weren't. But I will tell you like this, is that he obviously knew that after he posted this and people went through his background and seen that he did wrong. There are so many. So how do we know that he wasn't filming kids? He said he was there with a family and he had his own kids there. Like, we got to do more digging. In the way that the NAACP in Rochester has jumped on this, yeah, it makes me really wonder. Even because I will tell you like this, there are so many incidents in Rochester with racism that you don't hear none of these people speak up. None of them. None of them. But the minute this happens, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And first of all, they say black. He wasn't a black. He was a Somalian child. A Somalian child. But because they label all of us black, they don't want to talk about the turmoil that the African and black community has had in Rochester. They don't want to talk about how niggas was being called a kata. Right? That's how I know all this shit is for money. And when I woke up this morning and I seen posts that people were putting up for nonprofits or whatever, talking about to help black people, to help BIPOC, I knew this was a money grab, bro. I knew this was a money grab. And it's crazy as hell because they're doing it all over again, and we're going to allow them to. We're going to allow them to. I'm not saying what she said was right, because it wasn't. It showed that she was kind of ignorant. And I know, here's the crazy thing. I know black people that have dicked Shiloh down and have sold her meth. Does that make her? No, I think she has negrophobia. Let's be honest. She's not racist, because how many white girls in Rochester have done the same thing? Y'all got black kids, or even some white kids, that have done the same old shit. Y'all like black dick. It's not about black lives. It's about black dick. Let's be honest here. That's what's crazy. Y'all don't really want to have these conversations because they done thrown. Here's the crazy thing, right? Niggas, I ain't never seen so much uproar in Rochester, because what about what happened when the Rochester officer basically was abusing the Somalian man, African dude? Nobody cared about that. Nobody cared about the bridge. Nobody cared about the Kim Hicks, because to be at the end of the day, all of this shit is politically motivated. This is to start their little war, their little fearmonger people. to fearmonger. That's it. Because I will tell you, if you read the comments on Shiloh's, them niggas. Nate Higgers. Come on, we all know what that is. Hate niggers. Let's wake up to this shit and let's not allow them to do this. Because I don't understand it. And I'm going to show you a video that is on X, right? That is on Twitter. And it was just made, I think it was about an hour ago, 2 hours ago. Oh, actually, it was 15. But it's about white people are finally fighting back. Stand with Shiloh Hendricks. Can you believe this shit?
He's a pedophile, actually. He's going to court. There's a mom, Shiloh Hendricks, going viral on the internet right now. She told a kid who, by the way, when you actually look at the picture, the kid is like pretty decent sized child. He was rummaging through her bag and stealing her children's, I guess, toys or whatever out of her bag. She tells him to fuck off, essentially, which when you look at the video, the guy filming the video, he's a Somali, Hassan, whatever. He's a pedophile, actually. He's going to court in a little bit for raping an underage girl after offering her a place to stay. So that's your great people. And this is just like, this is whites having enough of it. We're sick of being bullied in our own country. You have this guy, he's not even from here. He's got a fucking accent. He's a convicted pedophile in a playground in a park, so what are you doing there anyway? He's swarming the streets, and now he's trying to get her life ruined. He's like, oh, this is hate speech. There will be consequences. I'm sorry, this is America. You have free speech in this country. So go and support her. She's got like a Gifts and Go up. But this is great. This is white people finally being fed up with this shit. And the fact that we have brown people trying to take away white people's rights in a white country when we have the Constitution and freedom of speech.
Wow.
And they come from their shit countries where you can be locked up for hate speech. This is just disgusting. This is everything wrong with immigrants. This is everything wrong with brown people in our fucking country. And this is why we need to kick them all out. Because they not only come to our country and rape our children, but they also come to our country and try to impose their third world religion and their third world laws on us. This is white people's country. This is a white country for white people. These people are not welcome, and I'm glad to see people are finally standing up. So stand with her, and everybody's trying to, shit on her and spin the narrative and ruin her life. But if you can give some to her, because W mom of the year, and shows.
Man, white people. This whole thing is turned into something that is comical at this point. Here's another one. This is Shiloh Hendricks. Protect her. And this is the crazy thing because this has over 1 million views. 1 million views. So there's like millions of people that are seeing this, right? And instead of, this is my thing of it is, right? Shiloh Hendricks seeing white people have her back. This shit is crazy. This is crazy. It's not about the money. It's about sending a message. Wow. 234,000. Shiloh is the perfect anti-hero. Sort of a white trash chick on the outside, but at a base level, she's a mom protecting her son from a third world pedophile creep. We couldn't get a clear example that collectively normal Americans are saying enough to immigrants. See, and that they're going to turn this into, this is crazy. See, that's when it was at 110,000. Wow. That's the whole thing of it, that people have turned this into something that it shouldn't be. You're seeing people do, this is the one thing, instead of bringing people together, people, well, let's do shows and that. Y'all don't do that, first of all, because you're not a Black American. I haven't seen none of this shit from none of these niggas out here. That's the crazy part. You got a white man and yes, he does do good work. But stop taking incidents and then using Black people's pain, because I will tell you right now, that man, that little boy, that shit didn't hurt him. That shit didn't hurt him. Now, if you would have called him a turban nigga or a sand nigger, come on, man, that shit didn't hurt him, because that's what they call us.
Not him. Not him. That wasn't a racial slur to him. That was a racial slur to us. And everybody wants to take, this is my whole thing about Rochester, the NAACP, Wale, all these fake ass niggas want to take black people's pain. And I'm tired of it because we always get left out. They want to use our trauma and our pain. Our trauma and our pain. I don't understand that. I completely don't understand that. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be more careful about what happened. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying what she did was right. I'm not saying what she did, the words that she used. No, I'm saying is that why does everybody out here? Because I will tell you right now, all these groups, they are not Black American. You have immigrants. And watch people, he a racist. I don't care what y'all call me. It's the truth. I ain't never seen these niggas. I ain't never seen none of this shit because this is the whole crazy part. This lady asked for $1 million, right? And then I'm gonna show you the other one because this is crazy as hell, man. I don't even get it no more. And it's like the whole time something happens, they find out it's a money giver. It's a money getter. I shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to put her in what's that called? GoFundMe. And you're going to see all these GoFundMes in her name, right? And it's crazy. Because I don't understand it. Because look at this, $910. He got 60. This is what I don't understand, right? So there's one over here. That's $910, right? You're seeing people give. Top donation was $100. Go back real quick. So then we see this one. This is what I don't understand. And people are donating. This is to a nonprofit, right? Stand against racism. Help Rochester BIPOC thrive. What do you mean? This is why I don't understand these people, right? I really don't understand it. This is not an opportunity to cash in off our pain. Because that's been done since America became America. Everybody has tried to profit off of Black trauma, off of Black pain. Instead of dealing with the shit that's at hand. No, they don't do that. I don't understand that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and some of these don't have money. But there's 8. Altogether, there's 11. 11. This one, I don't even, it's crazy. 11 GoFundMes, right? 11 GoFundMes. 11. But wait, I'm going to show y'all another one. Because y'all going to be like, wait, damn, they got all that. Man, listen, they want to use every opportunity they can to screw over the community in the name of Black people, right? It's not about making Black people better. That's what one thing that I would tell you. It's definitely nowhere about making Black people better. No, it's like, how can we screw over Black people today? How can we make this about us? Instead of actually being about the right thing and about the right people, how can we screw them over and say, hey, we're going to do all this in their name. We're going to do all this in their name and not give them shit. We're going to do all of this in their name and not give them shit. Because that's what we deal with. That's what we do. I'm not saying what happened to that little boy wasn't bad, wasn't bogus, but look at this is, to be honest, this is off of Black pain. $6,000. Like, come on, man. There's all these money grabs because Kim Hicks got her house fixed. Let's be honest, Kim Hicks got her house fixed. She got it repainted. She got shit fixed. But the black community is no better. We're divided. We're divided because I will be honest. When I went to that event on Sunday, I went to talk about the struggle in the black community because I don't hear it. I don't hear about that talk. I hear about how people can screw us over. And nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody got a GoFundMe up over this shit. Everybody. Everybody got a GoFundMe up over this. Right. Thank you, Mark Oliver. How many black kids have died from being autistic, of being left alone, leaving houses and then drowned? Nobody, y'all didn't care about that. But now everybody wants to use these opportunities to take money from the black community. In Minneapolis, and here's the one thing, right? I'm not saying nothing against other communities, right? I'm saying to stop using us as your crutch. Because I'll tell you right now, is that if that's the real, they're not American. They're not, and that shouldn't matter. The little boy shouldn't have been treated like that. I'll be honest, he shouldn't have been treated like that. But how many black kids go to school and get touched or get racially harassed? Because I know plenty of stories of black American kids that we ain't never seen. Here's the one thing, because, you know, since this story has gotten bigger, I became even sadder for Alma in Red Wing. And the fight that her mother does, and that she can't even get I'm not trying to say that between the two stories or whatever, but I feel bad because she's a black American girl that gets hit all kind of things from white people, and somebody that is even donated, to the campaign. Because she's got over 200 and what is it? Let me see. Let me push it back up. Because it don't make no sense. Yeah, $277,000. And it's up to, the goal is now $1 million. Wild. Let's see, top donations. $2,000. But this dude, 1776. Fuck out of here. Wow. I will never understand it. Oh, wait, I can go through this. Because I want y'all, okay, so the average white man, right? Now, I want to show y'all something. Because this dude is a nut job. He shouldn't even be around. Nobody should be. I don't understand how these people make. They have fans and all of this shit because I don't understand it. All right, bear my connection. I don't know if I can't go on it. I don't want to get canceled, but this dude is wild. So this is somebody that has given money in a large amount to her, right? Right. They only care when it goes viral. Right. Oh yeah, I definitely understand that shit. And it's sad as hell because they turned something and it didn't have to go that far. It didn't need to be where Shiloh got doxxed, because I will tell you like this, is that there's people in our community that could have talked to Shiloh and her parents and be like, hey, that wasn't cool. But instead we've come to this. That's the one part of it is so bad, is that we've came to this. And it's I don't even know what to say. It's like we came to this. Because this is the kind of this shit he does. We need to talk about the Jews, the cream man, Jewish pedophile. Like, come on. It's that dude that be dressing up in like a monkey outfit or something. I don't know, that little monkey face. Go back to Africa. Here go the race mix. 10 hours ago. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna play it a little. Let's see. So.
I'm pissed. We all know what happens with a white mom, black kid. That's what happens when your race mix. You can't say this without being called a racist. I don't want to kiss. All of them are next. Television.
Wow. Wow. Wow, we're doomed. We're doomed. Because I will tell you like this. This has turned into something that it doesn't need to be. No. Instead of adults having conversations, that's definitely where we haven't came to. Because we could have solved this as a community instead of getting all this media attention. Because I will tell you like this, is that the man that was filming the shit, he probably getting threats the same way that Shiloh was getting threats. And it's all about, damn, 234. That's when it was 234,000. You can't tell me that black pain and black trauma is not worth money. There goes flicking people off. This shit is insane. 107,000. Wow. Let's see the latest. What's the latest on her? And now they're comparing her to Carmelo Anthony. I'm done. They're even this is wild. Wow. So damn, this one 273,000. Now look at the photos. Shannon Sharp and the white girl, he being sued for 50 million. Then they got Carmelo Anthony. This don't even make no sense, man. We turn something into making it, turn nothing, and we'll make it into something. That's wild. I love to know what percentage of Shiloh Hendrix donors were Hispanic or Asian. It's definitely not zero. Wow. This is wild. Wow. No white guilt. This is crazy. This is wild. Like $278,000. Crazy. I ain't even mad though. Go get it. I just hate that it has to be off of black trauma. It has to be off of black pain. I'm gonna be honest, that's the only thing that bothers me, because it's always about, you know what I'm saying? They've turned this into a complete shit show. A complete shit show. And yeah, she did attack a child. She did, and did she really attack a child though? Because I will tell you right now is that, and I'm not sticking up for Shiloh, but in the video, you see her, that the man accused, well, I shouldn't say accused because she said the word again, but calling the boy the N-word and getting the things back that he supposedly allegedly took from her child. But you never seen her have a diaper bag. You never seen her have a purse. You seen her have in her hand, she's got her son, and then in her free hand, yeah, her words do hurt. They do. And see, that's the one thing about it though, Pam, is that they've turned this opportunity to not teach why those words were hurtful, because we're distracted from that. We've deflected from about what that word means, about what that word has done to black generations over and over again since 1619. Right. She did change the story. Right. And again, in my eyes, it was all about the money. It's been never about how do we change the black community in Rochester, Minnesota, because I will tell you like this, anytime anybody black has done anything in Rochester, what happens? They become tokens. They become a part of the system. Right? You don't hear Pastor Crockett, Bud Whitehorn talking about this because they can't. They can't talk about it. And Wale only talks about it because it's an African. I'm not saying nothing against it. Yes, there was a kid. She should have never used them words. But I will tell you right now, our pain and trauma is not about money. Because how many black homeless people are in Rochester and nobody does nothing? Nothing. Rochester has criminalized homelessness. They don't do nothing. I don't get that. When black people die at the hands of the system, we don't do nothing. We don't do nothing. We go out here and we want to do shows. We want to do events. We want to profit off of black pain. Off of black pain. No, I can't. You know what's crazy is I've seen so many comments from all over. I've read Reddit, I've read YouTube, I've read TikToks. You know, and a lot of people some people have flipped it to the man that was filming. Listen, his pastors came out. He did that to himself because there's so many people that have done this unanimously. So they can't figure out why they're posting it the way they are. They're saying that the words that they say because nobody figures who they are. No, and she does. And I will say that is that we're talking about the whole educational part. That's where kids get this. That's why we see the racial divide in the schools. That's why we see that racial divide in schools. It's because they are learned. So the man I just played, Gomi or whatever, then, you know, Stu Peters from Red Wing, Minnesota. These are why we have these. People actually follow, and there's a whole lot of shit you had to do with this website. I mean, I'm gonna show it again. He look at this shit, all babies. I don't even get it. I do not understand it. I really don't, man. Let's see, browse pictures. It's Black Lives Matter. Let's see. Wow. We don't even care no more. That's what I'm saying. Like, all people just think that all this shit is just for money. Like, this is all a big old game. And Black Lives Matter, black censorship. and yeah, this is crazy. Barack Obama. Wow. Yeah, I'm done. Y'all, this shit crazy as hell. How we have literally helped turn something that should not be like that and turned it into nothing. I'm not going to say no, because nothing is saying the wrong words. So turning something little into something humongous that we could have, because here's the thing, how many times, and I'm not saying that it's right, but how many times have people heard the word nigger and haven't done anything? Right. She does need to apologize. And I do believe, because of the danger that her parents have been, you know, threatened and they've been doxxed. I do think she would apologize. I do believe that. I don't think she intended for all that to happen the way that it did. I'm not saying that what she did was right. I'm not saying none of that. But the way that people have used this incident and turned it into something that it's not is really wild to me. And to be honest, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. But beyond is to fight that narrative and to tell people the truth. So with that being said, I want to get into contract games and city shuffles. Minneapolis violence interrupter contracts approved by city council, but they still are not working. So those contracts were from April 1st. And now, as we've seen yesterday, was May Day, and we still are not seeing no violence interrupters on the street, even though a mass shooting and maybe a potential gang war has started.
Been done to prevent the violence. Earlier this year, you will recall, Minneapolis City Council approved contracts worth millions of dollars for half a dozen violence interrupter groups. We are told they are ready to get to work, but waiting until contracts are official. Richard Reeves here to explain what the holdup is and when we may finally see them on patrol. Rich?
Yeah, Kevin, it is a complicated issue, but first we want to show you these city documents that reveal how much the city is spending on these contracts. $3.4 million to pay 5 violence interrupter groups. Now, the idea that these would be private, unarmed groups that would patrol the streets working to head off violence before it escalates into fights or even gunfire. Two groups we spoke with, Mad Dads and Touch Outreach, say after the council's approval, they hope to be out on the streets by April 1st. Now, a month later, and in the wake of multiple deadly shootings in the city, they say there is even more urgency.
It shouldn't be a holdup, to be honest with you. You know, we got lives that's out here just dropping, you know, that's dying. You know, people are out here losing their lives and, you know, people are getting shot.
Whether it's violence and
Today, we spoke with Amanda Harrington, the incoming director of the Neighborhood Safety Department. Harrington is in charge of going over contracts with violence interrupter groups.
There sounds like there's been a delay. Why is that?
Negotiating the contract definitely took longer than we expected.
Harrington says the council did give contract approval, but her department still has to negotiate terms. Some of the recommendations she's considering include background checks, drug testing, and health insurance. All of this, she says, takes time.
The groups are anxious to be out on the street, just like we are, but there's the terms and conditions that we haven't necessarily found agreement on. So when this passed through council, we didn't have all of the terms and conditions negotiated with the individual vendors.
Touch Outreach staffers say they hope to get back on the streets sooner than later.
Not supposed to be any gaps in services right now. We were supposed to have been out there April 1st, and here we are approaching, today's May 1st.
Right.
You know, so that's a huge gap. And as you can see, the uptick in violence that's just been spiking.
Now, when could we see these violence interrupters hitting Minneapolis streets again? Harrington isn't predicting any specific dates, but says she hopes all 5 groups will be in place and ready to go by the summer, Kevin.
Okay, that's Rich Reed. And of course, stay with 5 Eyewitness News as we work to get you more answers on
crazy. And that's what I'm saying. If it's about taking care of the community, let's do that. Why shouldn't it be right? Everybody, that's the one thing that we can agree on is safety. So why is it so hard to accomplish it? Because in my eyes, I will say this, is that we have a system that it says it wants to be forgiving, but it's not. There isn't no second chances. There isn't no, once you're a felon, you're always a felon. Just like with this whole incident with Shiloh, this has turned from a racial incident to now being something way bigger because our threats have been, that's why now that you have the police involved. You've seen some of the biggest white activists like Tizzy ENT or Jolly Ginger, and they've talked about this. For what? They turn nothing and try to make it into something, and that's what they did. And we allowed it, and that's what's crazy, right? Because it's the same thing that's going on in Minneapolis. You have violence at an all-time high. And just like I heard on John Justice this morning, the guy was talking about violence interrupters, and they want to talk about how crime is down. But you look at when crime was down, it was cold. It was really, we can consider winter. So what are we doing? And we all know that when it gets cold, crime goes down a little bit. And now we're seeing that it's getting warmer, so we're seeing a little bit more danger. We don't want to talk about that. Right. You know what's crazy is that she probably is an amazing mom, and she's going to be defined by that one moment. Because we have come into a part in the world where if you look different than another person, they judge you. And maybe some people judge in the wrong ways. But I will tell you like this, is that I don't get mad over it. I don't care about the word. I shouldn't say I don't care. But this is a point that we can educate, because they've been using that word nigger for a very long, way before. I will tell you like this. If he was still in Africa, he wouldn't have heard the word nigger. But because he looks like us, He gets treated like us, even though he ain't us. And people can be like, oh, you're so judgmental. No, I'm not. I'm just telling the truth. We have been co-opted. Black. Here's the one thing, if it is, this is why I get into these. I don't talk in them or nothing, but I listen to a lot of these so-called FBA spaces, and it's like, these ain't even mad. These ain't even FBA niggas. These are some people, I don't know what they are. But to be, I don't know. Because I will tell you like this, is that everything is turning out to be that how many are really foundational Black Americans? Right? So they've included in themselves and to be called niggers. Not that he is a nigger, he's been included because we've allowed society, the same thing that has come with violence interrupters, right? We say we want to get rid of this violence. If you're going to fight violence, the only way to eradicate violence isn't to, I know everybody says, oh, it's with love. I'm sorry, you can't do nothing. So I'm just supposed to hug a motherfucker and they got a gun in my face. Come on, that don't make no sense. Y'all want to kumbaya. No wonder why y'all put MLK down our throats instead of Malcolm X, because he believed in self-defense. And that's what this is about, self-defense. Right. They are. The kids are suffering. Our kids are suffering at an all-time high, and a lot of people don't do anything. Because unless it's a money-making opportunity, that's when you'll see people do things. And that's honestly, that's how I feel. And I have a right to feel that way, is because every time something comes up and it's about people being racist or, people being this way or that way, you come to find out it's always about Black Americans, but the person that it happened to is not a Black American. And I hate that it has to come down to that, but since everybody wants to be LGBTQ, or they want to have these pronouns, or they want to be this, they want to be that, well, that's where we need to get to. And let them be who they want to be. You know what I'm saying? And let's get on with this shit. I'll be honest, because that's how, niggas don't even, don't do it, Chaz. They're gonna try to cancel you. At this point, I don't even care about being canceled. Because, So if you hear this story, and it's not just 3 have died, so it's 4 of the 5 have died now. As this morning, one has been reported dead. And it's very sad. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that there is some way and somehow that the community can come together in this time of despair, in this time of need, because it's not just Minneapolis, it's not just the Twin Cities, it's Rochester, it's Duluth, it's St. Cloud, that we have communities so divided because we can't tell the truth. That's why we see a lot of this when it comes to what we call gang violence, we call Black on Black crime. These are things that we put in motion. These are things that instead of having honest conversations, we don't. Because we go with the narrative, or we go with what sounds better. Not the truth, because the truth will hurt. The truth will hurt. So instead we tell lies.
Murder suspect is in custody following a violent 24 hours in Minneapolis. Take a look at the scene of the first of 5 shootings, 25th and Bloomington. 3 people were killed, 2 others recovering from injuries. Callan Gray is live from the Hennepin County Jail, where the man police believe opened fire is being held tonight.
34-year-old James Dwayne Ortley was booked into the Hennepin County Jail just before 7 o'clock this evening. The Minneapolis Police Department telling us he was arrested with the help of the U.S. Marshal Service and FBI SWAT team earlier this afternoon in the city. This arrest coming as we learn more about a teenage victim of the shooting.
17-year-old Joey Goodwin was known for being a bright, creative, kind-hearted young man, according to the Augsburg Fairview Academy executive director, who tells us he was a student at the charter school. sharing, "We are so thankful for the time we had with Joey. His loss is deeply felt, and we are holding his loved ones close to our hearts," identifying him as one of 3 people killed when 5 were shot near a Minneapolis intersection Tuesday night. As the community mourns,
"We know that you're grieving, that you're upset, and that you're hurting, and that pain is unimaginable."
a breakthrough in the investigation. Minneapolis police, with the help of federal agencies, arresting 34-year-old James Dwayne Ortley around 3:30 Thursday afternoon in Minneapolis's Riverside community.
This is a significant step forward in what has been an intense and fast-moving investigation into the most violent incident this city has suffered this year.
Police Chief Brian O'Hara wouldn't give details about the evidence that led them to Ortley. He was arrested on a warrant for multiple counts of second-degree murder.
We have not ruled out that others may be involved in some way, or others may have information that may be material to the investigation. But we believe this person is responsible for shooting those people.
For firing that weapon?
Yes.
And they were the only person that fired a weapon, you believe?
I did not say that.
Oh.
O'Hara says he believes another deadly shooting on Wednesday near Cedar and 17th Avenues was likely retaliation for Tuesday's shooting, but stopped short of saying this is gang-related.
The arrest literally just happened, so that'll all play out in the investigation.
Court documents show Ortley has several prior felony convictions, and the Hennepin County Jail roster shows he was taken into custody as recently as February and released just 2 days later. We asked Chief O'Hara today if there were any warrants for his arrest that were active right before the shooting happened, and he said that he is not aware of any at this time. Ortley, meanwhile, is being held at the jail without bail tonight. Reporting live in Minneapolis, Callan Gray.
Damn, that's crazy as hell. So a person did die this morning out from that shooting. And it is sad. And I hope that people will pray. I will say this. It wasn't one of the twins. So she still is alive because they did say it was a male. And I'm figuring it was one of the ones that he had taken a couple of bullets. So it's all the way. It's a shitty ass situation. Yeah, and to be honest, we need to be, how can we get to peace? How can you get to actually telling the truth and being right, not aware, right? They all use that. It's another form of they don't have to tell the truth. And that's one thing that we're finding out. It's like just the same thing with nonprofits. How can you want to change the system, but you get paid by the system? You have no motivation to stop the system because that's how you get paid. That's a really oxymoron, hypocrisy kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? How can you change the system, but you get paid by the system? You're not fighting for liberation. You're not fighting for freedom. If the people that are oppressing us, right, even when it comes to these big ass corporations, it's the same thing over and over again, right? We should be focusing on peace and unity. We should. That's one thing that I will say is that peace and unity should come first, and it doesn't. It doesn't, and that's another thing that's sad. It's and it is a double-edged sword. I will say that it is a double-edged sword because even with like Minneapolis, right? So a lot of people don't know yesterday, the city council passed the ordinance resolution that it'll be against the law
today, the city council
to discriminate about fat people. This is what's crazy is because they've taken discrimination in my eyes and have made it a mockery, have made it to be where people should laugh instead of taking it serious. And if you're telling people that it's against the law, and I don't get this. And yeah, this is so, in my eyes, in my opinion, unless somebody can spin it where this is okay, because how it's been spun to me and how I read it, it's not okay.
soon going to be against the law in Minneapolis to discriminate against people for their height or weight. Today, the city council bolstered the civil rights ordinance. Ben Henry was there to question city leaders about why height and weight were included in this. Ben?
And better understand it. An association whose goal is to fight size discrimination says taking this step is unique territory for a city. Surrounded by advocates,
the unanimous passage of the Civil Rights Ordinance.
Minneapolis council members highlighted what they say is now one of the most unique anti-discrimination laws in the nation.
The city of Minneapolis has boldly declared that continuing to punish people who have already rejoined society is not justice, it's discrimination.
Unanimously passed, the city added several protected classes to its civil rights ordinance, including housing status, justice impacted, which can include people who have been to prison, arrested, or charged with a crime.
Advocates to end size discrimination.
And height and weight. How often does the city receive discrimination complaints surrounding height and weight?
We have heard from many individuals who oftentimes feel like they've been discriminated against because of their weight in particular, I would say. I don't have a specific number for you because it was not prohibited previously until today.
It is incredible to see Minneapolis take this step. There really are only a handful of places in the entire world that have made it explicitly illegal to discriminate based on body size.
Tigris Osborne is with the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, or NAFA. How often does weight discrimination happen?
Research by Dove showed us that about 34 million Americans experience size discrimination every year in this country.
Allies of NAFA, Sage Sharp and Carly Clements.
I'm so proud to be a resident and to know that our representatives are listening.
Size is important because it's just as a part of us as any other part of our identity.
Councilmember Chavez says the ordinance kicks in August 1st. He expects many complaints to be filed surrounding weight discrimination at that point. In the newsroom, Ben Henry, 5 Eyewitness.
It's okay to call people the N-word, but man, I can't understand this, dog. I really don't. We just want to put more and more and more and more legislation and laws on how to restrict how they talk, than trying to fix the actual problems, trying to fix the actual things that we see in the streets. I will never understand that. Is how does a community or a state or anything try to do something, and yet you have so many in the $285,000. God damn, that's wild. They've turned this into a money maker like a motherfucker. Wow. I to be honest, wow. $285,000 off of black paint. That's crazy. Crazy. Come on, man. We got to do better. $285,000. 285, but I will tell you like this is because I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. And don't kick me out either when I show this. But I seen a woman. Let me see if I'll just pull it up without, maybe I'll go on her page because I think she made it like that. She shared it. Right, I agree with that. Trying to see if I can get to okay, here it is. I don't know if she did put it in there. Damn it. So there is this, right? They're in a motorcycle accident in Rochester. And they said, the world makes me sick. I and my husband were in a motorcycle accident and couldn't even raise a few $100s, less alone make it on the news. But yet here's some lady is up to over $250,000 for calling some little boy an N-word in public, and then lying about how her social security card and other things were stolen. Do you all remember the fake homeless people who got caught in a scam? That's exactly what that is. What this is, it's a scam for her to become rich, and takes a bunch of stupid people to fall for this crap. But unfortunately, that's all this world is. It's stupid ass people. Thanks for giving to unworthy. So yeah. So you know, and I will say this has really divided a community, a certain community in Rochester, because even with somebody posted an hour ago is that this racism stuff, I liked it. This racism stuff is bad, but holy smokes, can we please do something about all this pedophilia in Rochester? This is absolutely wild that Minnesota and Rochester do not consider these to be serious crimes. The lack of conviction of everyone who is sentencing needs to be corrected. These are our children. Right. See, and I don't understand. Like, okay, like Kristen Pollock, I think her name is. She said it's valid to be deeply disturbed by both racism and the threat of predatory behavior. These are serious issues that can and should coexist in our awareness. But raising one concern shouldn't be used to dismiss or overshadow the other. We can condemn racial slurs and also demand protection for children from real harm. One injustice doesn't cancel out the other. They both deserve attention and accountability. It doesn't have to be one of the other. But that's what it seems like. You know, it isn't something that isn't, we seem like it's debatable. You know what I'm saying? It's that's one thing that I will never understand is like, how can we look at certain situations and see that it's okay because of a person's race or a person's age or a person's creed? We'll say that, oh, that's okay. They didn't know any better. You know, that's the one thing, even when it comes down to like in Red Wing, you know, certain situations, oh, it's just kids being kids. Well, if they're white, it's just kids being kids. But if it's of a generation that has a different skin color, it's not. They're animals, they're thugs, they're crooks. They're not just being kids being kids. Well, no, we reached peak saturation, the moment some girl cosplays Shiloh Hendrix for clout. Might even happen today. Somebody put her name out there, cracker hater. Right. This is the thing. I don't believe that her father, Steve, and Julie should have been included. This is a mistake that Shiloh made. Yeah. So here's Chad Crowley. He made a whole link about it, a whole thread. I'm going to see if I can read it because he put the given. Right. Okay. Unless somebody messaged. Oh, something else. But this is what Chad Crowley, this is 5 minutes ago. So for years, the pattern was held. A white person makes a comment, sometimes crude, sometimes merely unfashionable. A video was clipped, stripped out of context, and cast into this digital coliseum. The crowd demands penitence. Doxing follows. Then come the sponsors, the employers. This is not justice. It never was. It is a moral spectacle. It is a purification ritual for the postmortem West, where the cleansing agent is white submission. The apology is not meant to be accepted, but to affirm guilt of the group. The goal is not reconciliation, but re-education, humiliation, and silence. But this time, with the case of Shiloh Hendrix, the script cracked. Her personal details were posted online. She received death threats. Her children were targeted, and yet she did not She did not appear on camera with quivering voice and downcast eyes, she launched a fundraiser, and white people responded. That's what literally what happened. Not the media, not the institutions, not the credentialed class, but ordinary white people. Tens of thousands poured in to support her. The platform Give, Send, Go, not GoFundMe, which I hate that, which routinely bans descendants, reported over $250,000 raised in days. I shouldn't even say that because it's only been up for 2 days, yesterday and today. She literally had over, I believe, I don't even think it's been up 24 hours yet. We see what you are doing, and we are done pretending. This is more than a defense of one woman. It is a rejection of the moral framework that made her a target. The Hendricks affair is not the first of its kind, but it is one of the first to end differently. No apology, no resignation, no collapse. Instead, resistance. And that, more than anything else, signals a shift. The ritual is breaking, and with it, the spell of white guilt. Son is killed, forgives killer, kicked out killer's press conference, swatted. So they're trying to compare, I think his name was Austin Metcalf's parents. And what happened with Shiloh is that the son is robbed, called thief, the N-word, collects $100,000, gives Send, Go the next day. White guilt was never a natural sentiment. No people naturally hate themselves or push their own demographic extinction. It did not emerge organically from conscience or history. It was manufactured, ritualized, and weaponized. It was imposed from above alien elites who, this really goes on. I'm going to share this because I really think people need to dig into this and look at it because, this shit, if you look at it, damn, that was I'm going to read this because this sheet, they really did get into some shit. It is part of a larger pattern. Yeah, I really do believe that it's something that we will see and get bigger because it's not the end of it, right? It's not the end of it. It won't be. To be honest, because I'll be taking the next couple of days off. I got doctor's appointments on Mondays and Tuesday. And I know Bobby Joe Champion's ethics complaint is coming up on Monday. But I got to care about my health. I got to care about my, my health, especially because I had a stroke last year and I'm still trying to recover. That's why I haven't recorded in so long. You know what I'm saying? I have stuff written down. I have stuff that I want to record, but I can't. So not that it to me, it sounds weird, but maybe I'll get over that. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe I need to try something differently. But that's how it always goes. They turn into nothing. And that's the way that we will always see this. They won't see it in any other light than to see it in the light that they've come to know. They've come to I will tell you this, and he'll get Shiloh Kendricks. Google white trash. Wow. That's crazy. And I still don't believe that her parents are, wow. Also, see that a lot of people have commented on this. So I wouldn't comment on a situation like this, but if you support or have at all given money to this witch of a woman, you aren't cool, you aren't conservative, you aren't based, you aren't owning the libs, you are just plain and simple a fucking retard. That was a great comment. 260,000. I'm telling you like this, people that normally would not get involved in this have been. Someone explained this to me, like I've just woken up from a concussion. This Shiloh Hendricks rages at a black little boy in a park, calling him the N-word and somehow this freak is the victim. And people raised over $250,000 for her. Why? Because in their eyes, they want to raise more than Carmelo Anthony is raising. That's what I don't understand. Emergency podcast, End of White Guilt. We'll see what they got to say.
Welcome to my latest attempt to adhere to YouTube's community guidelines. My name is Scott Armstrong, and this is Rebunked News. And we have an emergency podcast this morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Emergency.
Holy smokes. The internet has officially broken. And when I say broken, I think that it has literally been broken in a way that could be malicious. This is a big psyop, you guys, I think. Right. But we're going to get into it. What are we talking about here? If you haven't been paying attention, the internet has exploded in the last 24 hours in a way that you wouldn't think. I've been watching this saga
I would hope the
unfold,
father would.
and I'm just like, this is crazy. This is really crazy stuff.
Right.
So yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, maybe the day before, not sure when this video was captured.
Right.
There was a young lady in Minnesota, I believe, who was at the park, and another kid at the park stole her kid's toys, and she lashed out at the child, calling the child the N-word. Okay, now, YouTube, we have to come to an understanding here, okay? There is no bigotry, racism, or anything happening in this episode. I want to make sure the transcript, the AI are very clear on this. This is relevant social commentary on a newsworthy topic, YouTube, and so that's what this is. Now, a gentleman, well, I'm not going to say gentleman, excuse me, a person, a very questionable person was at the park that confronted her about her choice of language when confronting the kid that stole her child's toys. And the internet's just blown up about the story, okay? Now, if you haven't seen it, this is Shiloh Hendricks, okay? Shiloh Hendricks is a mother in, I think it was Rochester, Minnesota. Hold on. Yep. Shiloh Hendricks, Rochester, Minnesota. Yep. Shiloh Hendricks, Rochester, Minnesota. I bleeped the video. I went ahead and took out all of the N-words just so it's YouTube friendly and all that. Right. So
we know how it goes.
If you haven't seen the video, we're going to watch the video here, and then we're going to unpack this because it is crazy. So here we go.
You call him a nigger, the child? Did you call the child the nigger word? It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
Wow.
Nobody dig into your shit. That little kid, you call him a nigger? The little child? Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
We'll see about that.
Right.
We'll see what the internet has to say about you, is what he said. Well, I'll tell you what the internet had to say about her. So shortly after this, of course, obviously, as expected, you could imagine all of the people of the world would make it their mission to target her and ruin her life, uproot everything, dox her, put out her social security number, address, and then come after her, as you would expect. Pretty typical standard stuff, which apparently happened, allegedly.
Right, she did say that.
She created a give, send, go to basically, as she says, relocate, maybe get some private security as a result of this. And we'll see what the internet has to say about you, he says. Well, the internet has spoken. Here's her give, send, go. It's at givesendgo.com/Shiloh Hendricks, SHILOHHENDRIX. And as you can see here, she had a goal set of $250,000, and she has raised, as of right now, about 9 a.m. on Friday morning, $265,000. So she has exceeded her goal. She's raised over $500,000, and wild stuff. Now, I want to read what she wrote. Now, this lady, as she said in the video, I don't give a fuck. And you can tell she doesn't give a fuck. Wow. So it says, hello. My name is Shiloh, and I've been put in a very dire situation. I recently had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag at a park. I called the kid out for what he was. Oh, Shiloh. Another man who we recently found out has had a history with law enforcement, and that's putting it very lightly. We will get into that.
Right.
Proceeded to record me and follow me to my car. He then posted these videos online, which has caused my family and myself.
See, that's the part that I don't know, right? Is that it's turning my eyes, is that a complete differently situation when you throw in his history, right? Because he does, as you've noticed, he does have a dark past, and she's at $289,000 now. So the new goal is $1 million, and at 10:36 this morning, the goal is $1 million, and she has raised $289,000. Fucking insane. That is wild. So here it is. Wow. We've become a hell of a country that will turn situations where we should learn and educate others to not hate each other or to be discriminatory. We just make it into a money-making opportunity. That's crazy. Yeah, so I'll be back Wednesday, and maybe I'll go live this weekend. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll talk about a few things. But yeah, this is wild. And I hope that everybody is safe this weekend. It is beginning of May. My wifey birthday's tomorrow. Pretty excited. She'll be 46. If you're out there and you see her make her little post tomorrow, give Ashley Radloff a happy birthday. Tomorrow is her birthday. So with that being said, and it is, we have, I don't really celebrate birthdays like that, but Rachel, the big old 10. With that being said, man, I want everybody to have a great weekend. And I have music. I have For Bat, Me, You, and Pride. And I want everybody to have a great weekend. And with that being said, win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well. And y'all have a great weekend. And here you go with For Bat, Me, You, Pride.
That much cause the talk is cheap. Her type is a type need therapy. She's bad as a kid, but it works for me. She be horny when she want. That's fucked up, damn right I know. Body slow, tryna right her wrongs. Round for round, we going. I'll be off her, turns her on. Dick say yeah, but my mind say no. It don't matter when that mouth so close. I already know. She don't say sorry. She don't apologize. She rather swallow me before she swallow pride. She do it to me. That shit work every time. She rather swallow me before she swallow pride. Got a nigga like yeah. She rather swallow me before she swallow pride.